Welcome to Students Talk Back, a new video segment at northeastvalleynews.org. This is your chance to voice your opinion on current events. Watch for our reporters around campus or email us at nevalleynews.org@gmail.com.
I think that, their kids should be, how do you say it? They should have their own life and not have it be personally invaded by their parents or by anyone. So I think that's kind of not a good thing to do.
I think that's overboard. I think if you're under the age of 18, maybe as a parent that would be okay. But now that she's a legal adult, that's a little bit too far.
There's probably some boundary crossover there because sex is a superhuman thing. You're not going to stop people, or when you kind of do, there's definitely an oppressive element there. On the other hand, regular checkups with the obstetrician or the gynecologist can't be a wholly bad idea. So you're at least getting idea of the health and some education there. But for the explicit purpose, yeah, that's obviously some tricky gray area there where most parents, I think, would tell you they have the right to, especially medically, if you're taking that angle on it, like taking them to the obstetrician. It's not like he's doing the exam or anything, so it's better that way, I guess. But yeah, that's a tricky area for sure. I think, a much more subtle area where people are going to start having those kinds of things when this youngest generation finds out all of my baby pictures or whatever are up on, whatever social media due to my mother or whomever. I think we're going to start having more of those discussions about who gets what rights when. Are you cognitively autonomous at 16, 18? So.
I did not vote.
I did not, no.
I did not, because what I knew about that election, and this is kind of a lazy approach to it, was the people that were up for voting had already been there and they didn't have competitors. So we were really going to be getting the same people pretty much anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Honestly, probably not. No, I don't follow politics a whole lot and don't have a good knowledge of kind of what's going on. So.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's both our responsibility and the people that are promoting the new bill. Because I live in Mesa, right? And we only had one thing, which was just to raise budget for the public schools. But there wasn't really enough word about it. All there was just posters. So if I were to be more informed about it, instead of just having to go to a website that I can barely catch, then I would have definitely voted.
Yeah, just a lack of information, a lack of knowledge.
Do give us information. I think it's not distributed in a way that's most friendly to people that are more in our generation. So because there are pamphlets that are sent out in the mail. I particularly live with my grandparents, so I know about the elections and stuff because they receive those pamphlets in the mail, they read them, and I do too when it's an election where there's actually some stake in the game or whatever. Someone may get their seat actually changed. So yeah, there is information. I think everybody as a voter should actually take it upon themselves a little bit to find out where is it, because it's out there. There are a lot of laws mandating that it be out there, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not going to be the most prominent thing to your view in this kind of world where, we watch cat videos and stuff.
I'd definitely like to see more unity between the people, because it's an entire divide based on what we like and what we don't like. And if someone doesn't like something, then people just tend to not just be part of it, or sometimes harass them. So I definitely think that we need to be more united.
It's people working together, to kind of stop crime and stop just help underprivileged children and underprivileged families. A lot of people are in like tough times, whether it's here in the U.S. or in different countries. I don't know. That's a big one. That's a lot of people say. But yeah.
I would really like to see a greater trend toward beliefs based on evidence and attempts to bring people together to the same kind of fact space where we can agree on what's true and what isn't, and more importantly, the process of evaluating that. I would just like to see a lot more of that, so people taking their beliefs on empirically and trying to introduce some rigor into their thought process. I think where that's happening, that's amazing, and where it's not, we could always use more.